Hi everyone, this is Mary and you're watching Cards TV, and I decided I wanted to use these papers again that I got from Big Lots. I really love the purples, the mocha colored, and the green, and I haven't done any paper quilting in quite a while, so I thought I'd go ahead and use two of the patterns and two solids. This green is not part of that paper pack, it's just some green that I like. And when I come back in just a minute, I'm going to show you everything you need to do paper quilting, and we'll go ahead and make one of these quilt squares. It's so much fun. I hope y'all will enjoy it. So I'll be right back. The supplies that you'll need for this paper quilting is you'll need two patterned papers and two solids. And these all have greens, mochas, and purples in them, so they all coordinate. You'll need to take your purple paper and cut a square 3 1/4 by 3 1/4, and that is this background square. Then you'll need a white square 3 1/8 by 3 1/8, and these two are going to go together on the front. Now, for your actual quilt square, you're going to need a base, and that's going to be 3 by 3. And your pattern papers, now if you have a 1-inch punch, this will work great for you. If not, you can probably cut a 1-inch square using one of your Cricut cartridges, or just cut a 1-inch strip of paper and then cut an inch at a time, which is what I did. But you'll need 3 1 by 1-inch squares of one of the patterned papers. As you can see, I've got 3 going across here. Then on the striped, which is your other patterned paper, you'll need 2 1 by 1-inch squares. Then I have 4 of the purple 1 by 1-inch squares. And then I have 1 green 1 by 1-inch square, and I'm going to cut it diagonally this way, and then take each of those pieces and cut them diagonally, and this is going to be the little pattern on there. And I did put a purple button in the center of mine, and I put some of this braiding cord on there, just tied it in a little knot and put it on the outside with a glue dot, and then I ran some of the braiding cord around this bottom strip. This bottom purple strip is 1 inch by 4 inches, and I just ran it around loosely and glued it on the back, and then I took another button and put that down with a glue dot and put another piece of the braiding cord on it, tied in the knot. The Friends Are Like Quilts I did on the computer, and the font is called Minion Nouvelle, and I printed it in brown at 16 points. The green mat is 4 by 5 1/4 that everything goes on. And I did ink everything with some Tim Holtz Distress ink, and this is called Frayed Burlap. And then on the inside, the rest of the saying, Friends Are Like Quilts, a patchwork of warmth and comfort. And I just cut a couple more squares and put on here, and just cut this out. I don't even know the size. You can figure that one out when you go to cut it, and just matted it on some green and purple. But I'm going to come right back, and we're going to start putting these together to make our quilt square. And for that, you're going to need a 2-way glue pen and some adhesive and your distress ink, and you may need some tweezers. I use some tweezers because these are small pieces. So I'll be right back, and we'll get started on this quilt square. Okay guys, this is super simple. It's basically just lining up your squares in a pattern. And I go ahead first and lay out my pattern so I don't forget the way I want it to go. And I'm just alternating the patterns and the colors. And when I get this done, I'm going to start gluing them down to my square. And when you get them all on here, if it, you know, you're going to line up the tops and the edges with the outside of your 3x3 base square. But if they don't line up the way you want them to, just trim it and make it fit. You can see how simple that's going to be. So I'm going to go ahead and start putting these down, and then we'll cut our green square and put that on for our pattern. Okay, I'm finishing up the last row, and if you want to, you can go ahead and take your distress ink and ink around each of these, but I just wait and do the whole square when I'm done. It's just your own personal preference, whichever you like to do. And I've tried to get these on here matched up as best I can, but I'm probably off some, but I'm going to show you. I'll see, there it is right there. If I flip it over on the back, I see there's a few little edges, so I'm just going to take my scissors and square it up and just trim those little pieces off. Because, you know, after all, the old-fashioned quilts that our grandmothers made and gave to us, they were not totally square. They didn't have the measuring tools and things we have nowadays, which I guess means I should have got this more square, right? But there we go. Now, to do our green square for the center, I'm just going to take my scissors, because this is so small, and just cut that straight across on the diagonal. And then I'm going to take the pieces that come from that and cut those on the diagonal. I think I'm going to start at the point. That'll make it easier to get it straight. Okay? And this is where I have to use the tweezers when I start putting these down, because these are very small little pieces. But this is what makes our quilt square look so pretty. Okay, I'm just going to take my tweezers, flip it over, and take my two-way glue pen and put some glue on there. And just go ahead and line these up right along here. Okay, we're going to put our last green piece on, and I'm trying to get this in a little closer so that y'all can see. I'm just holding it with my tweezers and using my two-way glue pen, and then I line up the edges and press it down. Okay, here's our finished square, and I just went around it with the Tim Holtz Distress ink, and I just used my finger dauber like that, nothing to it, and there's our quilt square, just like on the front of our card. You can add a button if you'd like, and also put some jute or hemp or braiding cord in the center of your button. But to finish this, I took my white 3 1/8 by 3 1/8 square, and I also went around it with the Tim Holtz Distress ink. And I adhered my quilt square to that, and then I took the purple piece like you see on the card, and I went around it with the distressed ink also, and then put that down, and that goes right there on the front of the card. But that's all there is to it. It's lots of fun, and it's a great way to use up scraps, let me tell you, because it doesn't take much at all for these little 1 by 1 inch squares. But you can see what a pretty card that makes. And I really had a lot of fun doing it. So I'm going to pull out some more squares and make up some more cards. And I hope to see you guys again soon. But give paper quilting a try. It's lots of fun. And it's very forgiving. If it doesn't line up quite right, just trim it and make it fit. And it'll look great. You guys have an awesome day. And I'll see you again soon. Bye now.